And 7 News on your side, digging into the tense sequence of events leading up to that deadly officer-involved shooting last week in Northwest D.C. Good evening to you. I'm Scott Thuman. We've been going over the police body camera video, and we do want to warn you, it may be disturbing to watch. Our Christian Flores breaks down the footage, also showing how close the suspect was to harming an innocent bystander.
On a portion of Georgia Avenue Northwest already overflowing with MPD officers, this crash set off a chaotic sequence of events. The suspect responsible for the crash blaming the officer.
What's your problem? I'm in my lane. Look at that.
The individual gets out of the car. He's really enraged and actually makes comments to the officer about hitting his car during that collision, and it just kind of escalated from there.
At that point, the suspect, since identified as 29-year-old Surafel-Zerihun, reaches into the MPD car with a knife.
Back up, I don't want to shoot you.
And after commands,
Hey, give me a gun. Send out to show you.
the officer shoots him.
Send the board and send out to unit.
While checking on Zerihun and calling for backup, he gets up,
where you
still
are.
holding a knife, even stabbing himself, and gets into a different MPD car.
Watch yourself. He got a knife. Get out of the car.
After backup arrives, Zerihun eventually gets out of the car.
Drop the knife.
And I locked eyes with him when the suspect was crossing the street and he was taking his shirt off. And I didn't realize something was wrong because he had a wound in his back.
Get a 40. Let me get a 40. Let me get a 40.
MPD officials say this is when he tried carjacking a woman in this car at knife point.
Here's the knife.
An officer who ran to the scene then shoots and kills Zerihun.
This is yet another reminder of the daily dangers that our officers face protecting the residents and visitors of our city.
Now, per department policy, the officers who fired their guns are on administrative leave while the investigation continues. Scott?
Christian, this is an issue more and more these days. Do we know if any mental health resources were called to that scene?
Well, Scott, that's all still under investigation. As with any use of force incidents, the investigation will include whether or not there could have been better de-escalation tactics. But I'm told by an official what makes this case tricky is this incident appears to be an active attack against an officer without any time to call for the Department of Behavioral Health. That agency is typically called for more stagnant situations like standoffs.